Hey everybody, welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Commander Hawkins. We're here to look at not one trailer, but two?
Kind of. We're going to do some comparisons between the San Diego Comic-Con trailer for Picard that we got and the new one we just got from New York Comic-Con. There are a few scenes that are the same. Well, similar. The same scene, but a few different changes. And we're going to take a look at those right now.
Yeah, there's a things take a little while to make, and sometimes things take a year and a half in post-production. That means the visual effects, means the color grading, that means all those things. And even if some shots are quick, some other ones aren't. And often in films you see early versions in films, and sometimes in the case of Avengers Endgame, they have to double digitally change things to hide something and whatever. It's a whole process here. And in the first trailer of Picard, there's very little visual effects. Very, very little. Now, this trailer is, 3 months later? First one came out in July, San Diego.
Yeah.
3 months of 9 to 5 production, plus that trailer had to be done a few days before. No, they've had a bit of time. And also, we're only January is released, so we're getting there. And I wanted to look at some shots which are, well, you can see them. Here's the first one. The top one, as you can imagine, is the San Diego 3 months ago, and this one is the one from this. You can see why I highlighted this, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking through the screenshots from the first trailer that we earlier today that you sent, and I didn't remember seeing the little hand symbol with the your newest tech today thing there on the. But I didn't notice the city at all. I mean, the side by side comparisons are like, damn. So thank you for, first of all, noticing that and showing these comparison side-by-sides. But yeah, it's simple to see that the scene was filmed. They had it. They wanted to put it in, but they didn't have all of the visual effects done yet. So they've added the city background. They've added the symbol on the left there. They've also bumped up the brightness of the lights outside the building.
Yeah, it kind of has to match the fact that there's a city there, because now you look at it, now you can see they've obviously digitally removed everything, the real world to the right of the scene from the first one. So you just say, oh, it's a dark street, but dark means dark, whereas the new one, it's like, well, yeah, they're next to a city, so it's a street there, Yeah, I mean, you called this out about the first trailer where there's some stuff on a rooftop where you look out and it's just.
Oh, yeah.
Modern day basic housing.
Yeah.
And this is an example where they hid it in the first place. They couldn't in the other one. And we're going to see modern buildings and future modern added. But what a difference this makes. I mean, what do you think of the two shots side by side now with the 3 months of difference? And just, what do you think?
I don't think any of the changes were needed. I kind of like the first one has more of a noir feel to it. Like a detective novel, like Dixon Hill. There you go. That kind of noir vibe to it. The other one, shows that it's in a city, and like I said, a little bit brighter. But it didn't need to be done that way. I mean, unless there's a pan across the city and then it focuses on the store, which I think they might be going for or something. It's hard to say, or vice versa. It's going to focus on that. You see Picard. They're going to zoom out from Picard's face on the TV or whatever it is. You're going to see the person walking down the sidewalk there, and it's going to be the girl or something that's looking for Picard, and then they're going to pan up to the stars, and then they're going to fade, and you're going to see stars, and you're going to pan down. It's going to be the vineyard, and it's going to be looking up at the stars. Mm-hmm. See, I got the whole thing mapped out in my brain.
Which he does in the first trailer, so yeah, that's a great... so yeah, subtle things, like all of the monitors, whatever effects are showing Picard on the inside, they're totally different now. Although now we kind of get a context of the time. I wonder why he's being interviewed. Like what this is the anniversary of the incident or whatever. We have no idea. But it's weird to see this long retired person on the news or whatnot. Although I can imagine that's when she sees him and she gets a flash and then she says, "Oh, I need to go find him." And Mary says, "And now he's living on a vineyard," and she's like, "Oh, I must go there." That would
be quite the coincidence. But that happens a lot in TV. So,
this is one of those things where it made me think that they're editing around who she is. I mean, that seems obvious, but I mean that in the first trailer implied she's a Borg prisoner, but now ever since the when we looked at the trailer the first time. No, I think she's taken to that because of who she is, rather than is there because of who she is in the first place. So she's done something on Earth which opens up who she can be hugely. She's not just the Borg Queen, or Picard's daughter. She's something else, and then maybe she gets amnesia on a street, and that would make if she happens to be on Earth, she's more likely to happen to see the news, rather than escape, get to Earth, and then whatever. But yeah, I like the buildings. I think they look. It could be Vegas, could be LA. I mean, it doesn't look too sci-fi, but that's fine. I mean, you wouldn't. Most buildings look not too much old or too much new, so I think there's gonna be a big medium of how things look. But the second picture, Stuart, this one really stood out to me. And I love that you hadn't seen these yet, because the first trailer we saw Patrick Stewart walking through what looked to be a warehouse, and in the first version, my interpretation was it's more of a not seedy, but more undercover, more let's take you to before he's in a special government research facility. In the new one, though, that is not the case anymore. They have slightly changed the context of this warehouse.
Now they're in the Jedi archives, as you can clearly see. It's funny the way that this is done, because obviously they use like a parking garage structure, something like that, and then they go in and add all these effects, which is absolutely great to see the before and after, but never would have noticed it. Never would have noticed it just off the cuff, just watching these trailers. So I'm glad, again, that you pointed these out to me. This seems like much more of an actual facility now for Android development or whatever it is.
Yeah. And this is to me, these are like data banks, because if you're having, data's mined might take up so many. Well, exactly. Yeah. This is the new whatever. This is a living data, as in information network, because the context of this scene is that he goes to speak to the cybernetic lady, who then joins the crew. But I just love the fact that you can see the ceiling of the set, which until you know it's just the actual building, you think, oh yeah, it's a set. It's like, oh no, that's just the building of the room they filmed. Boom, sci-fi. But the thing is, while the new one I think looks good in terms of that's well done CG, it's too overbearing. It shouldn't have had the upper level. It should have had just the sides and not a top. I think it looks too CG over the top. Just for me personally. What do you think?
Again, it's all about context, right? If we see this building from the outside and there's an explanation for why this is such a cavernous room, no problems with it. I love the little buzz droids flying around, whatever those are. I would assume that those can go up higher levels to fetch information for people or something. And
there's a lot of those in this trailer. We see the Romulan prison, Borg prison, and now there are those flying around there too. So there are now sort of drones just around.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's overpowering necessarily. It just looks too much like the Jedi archives for me, as I said.
Which is fair. But the third and final one is the bridge/main big room/transporter room of the new hero ship. As you can see, the top view, they gave the new captain full holographic displays. But in fact, 3 months later, there's holographic displays on every single pillar. What do you think, Stuart?
Unnecessary holographic displays. That's too many. It looks too busy and cluttered now. I prefer the original.
Which was not in itself a good thing.
Well, no, but it's much better. It could be that these are maybe the holograms on the bottoms turn off right before we zoom out or zoom in on this captain. He only needs his, so I don't know. But I don't know what to say about this. Those just look stupid.
It looks like any other generic sci-fi that has holograms. It would look better if inside each pillar there was a LCARS display with a physical panel, and it was clean and it fit in with the architecture, and they just were panels. But holograms are expensive, they're noisy, they're impractical because you can see through them. Discovery's already done them, so they're no longer futuristic tech. It makes that completely redundant. They now look just like Discovery / anything generic sci-fi. And yeah, I think the bottom view looks bad. While good artistry, well done for holograms, and the orange and white is not a good looking thing either. And the whole room just feels bland and I'm not going to enjoy watching this ship. I can tell. They're very, let's go full holograms. Why? Because it's the future. But they had displays until 20 years ago. No holograms. It's like, okay.
It's visually noisy. It's distracting. The top one, you focus on the captain, or there's too much. It's cluttered. There's too much going on with it. And I agree. I don't appreciate the way it looks, and the fact that there are see-through holograms everywhere. It's annoying. Personally, I don't want to. Okay, I have so many issues with that, but that's okay. I don't want to look at a hologram and see what's behind it. I mean, yeah, you can focus really quickly. That's fine. Okay, I get that. But then the fact that the people, anyone around you, even on this side of you, if you got like a pad with a thing, can read what you're doing. The only time that they make sense is the Orville, where the back of the displays are, you can't see through them. You can, they're just like opaque. And the front, you can see through them. I love that. That works perfectly. Most hologram technologies don't do that though.
And
Discovery
it's not
doesn't.
everything. It's just pads. It's just like personal things that it's like a piece of paper. It's like, oh,
yeah,
it's 2D plane. No, it and this is a sad thing about this is an art design decision. But it looks just like a Discovery generic Mass Effect. This is nothing about this looks like Star Trek at all. Now that said, it's a non-Federation ship, non-Federation tech. I mean, hey, they could save it with having because that's the thing, the confines of what Federation military use, the evolution, that's one thing. Whereas any other race does a different thing. A-okay. I'm all on board if this is a whatever, random race, random ship, random display. They have a new interface, whatever. But you need to still see a Federation ship with a Federation bridge with classical LCARs, modernistic, with physical things. I mean, that is the best, and the fact that it stayed for 200 something years. Nemesis was not that long ago, and guess what? We saw future ships. We saw Janeway's future. We saw all good things. No holograms. Their bridges still have the exact same displays, so that is going to be somewhere, or they're making a big mistake, functionally.
Yeah, and you could have the TNG LCARs transformed into something new by just having a black panel like they do in TNG. When you power it up, everything comes up on the display, and then it pops out. And so it is a hologram, but it's got a black thing behind it. You can push a hologram back further to slide it away or something. But there's ways to do it. And
that'd be kind of fun if there was like a slider. Everything's 2D, or you can move the slider, and it goes, so you can lean back and then it goes flat again. I mean, that'd be a fun little. There were always holograms, just no one ever wanted holograms. I mean, how many people, seriously, bought the Nintendo 3DS and turned off 3D?
Everybody.
Yeah. So, there's precedence for this.
That's a great example, actually.
Thank you. So, yeah, I just want to call out, first picture is brilliant, second picture is very interesting, third picture I think was a big mistake. I already thought that just the him holograms was a bad choice, but again, hopefully we're going to see Federation tech as well. But I just want to show you guys a very sort of in-your-face, side-by-side of these things, because artistry and work, this represents hours and hours and hours of work. And whatever is said about the story or what ends up being, the work put in, well done, well done.
That's where all the money's going for this show, is these kind of effects.
A lot of it, yeah.
Could be put somewhere else. Anyway, on that note, guys, what do you think about these side-by-side comparisons? I was really impressed with the first one. I didn't even notice the changes when I first watched the trailer, and the second one as well. This one, whatever. But what did you guys think of these side-by-side comparisons? Let us know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification icon, and come back and watch us for our lives and all the other cool stuff we do. We got a lot to talk about from New York Comic Con, and a lot of stuff coming out with Picard and Discovery Season 3 and lower
Short Treks.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about Short Trek. Lots for us to talk about. So come back and
so subscribe.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Yes. And Patreon and PayPal and all those great things. But you guys know the drill. Just go watch the next episode. I'm sure it's out soon.
That's right.
Until
then, guys, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Guns.
Bye, everybody.